share screen?
Yes.
Kilometer, 30 degrees east of north. So this is a simple one. Just to start with some basics. So what do we mean by this east of north?
Northeast.
Students, is it better now?
Yes, sir.
I have some network issues today. I hope now it should be resolved. Let's see. So I was asking, are you able to see my screen, by the way?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So listen. So 30 degrees east of north means you're going in the direction of north. You're going in the direction of north. From north towards east, you need to take a turn of how much value?
30 degrees.
30 degrees. So that is the meaning of 30 degrees east of north. And what will be the length of this vector, OA vector? The magnitude of OA vector is how much? 40 kilometers. Okay. So I'm going a little fast. Next. Classify the following measures as scalars and vectors. 10 kilogram. Kilogram is a measure of?
Scalar.
Kilogram is the measure of mass. It's a scalar. So, 2 meters northwest.
Vector. Vector.
It's a vector. Why? 2 meters related to
Direction
distance.
is specific.
Yes, northwest. It's a direction. So it is. They are talking about displacement. So it is a vector quantity. 40 degrees.
Scalar.
Scalar. 40 watt. Watt is the measure of power. Power is scalar. 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Coulomb is a measure of charge. Charge is also
Vector.
Charge is a scalar. Though it has positive and negative sign, they do not follow vector laws of addition. 20 meter per second square is for acceleration.
Vector.
So
Vector.
vector. Okay, this is only for the knowledge, not for the exam purpose. So don't worry. You know, commerce students are there. Don't worry much about it. This is just for the knowledge. You can make a note of this point. So I'm going to the Next problem. Classify the following as scalar and vector quantities. Time period, time, scalar. Distance, scalar. Force,
Vector.
vector. Force has direction. Velocity,
Vector.
work done.
Scalar.
So in figure 10.6 square, identify the following vectors. You need to identify the co-initial vectors. So co-initial means same starting point. So for the first one, what is the answer?
A vector and
A
A
vector,
and D.
D vector. That's right. Second, equal vector.
DB.
Okay. So equal vector means what did I say? D and B. Yes, that's right. B vector and D vector. So what is the definition? They have same direction and same magnitude. Third, they are
So
collinear,
also
but sorry.
E. Oh, no, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So D vector and B vector are equal vectors. Then what about collinear but not equal? What is the condition I told you for collinearity? A vector is equal to lambda times B vector, right? So if one vector is lambda times another vector, then they are collinear. For example, if in a question they have given A vector is 2 times B vector, what is the relation between these two vectors? You can either say they are parallel vectors, or you can say they are collinear vectors. If suppose in a question they give you A vector is equal to minus 2B vector, then what can you say? They are still collinear vectors, but anti-parallel vectors. So what do you mean by anti-parallel?
Opposite.
Two vectors, they have opposite direction, meaning if one vector is in this way, the other vector will be in this way. So the literal meaning of what I've written, A vector is equal to 2 times B vector means, I told you the other day that vectors are nothing but arrays with a fixed length. So if this is A vector, then this will be B vector. So what is the meaning of these two? This is A vector, this is B vector. How many times is A vector compared to B vector?
2 times.
It is 2 times. If I take this as the midpoint. Okay. So that is the reason why I explained this. They told collinear vectors but not equal. What do they mean by that?
Opposite direction.
Yes, they are in opposite direction. So what are the vectors which are actually of the same length? They're anti-parallel to each other. That is what they're asking. So you will have A vector and C vector. They are collinear but not equal. Why are they not equal? Equal in the sense, are they trying to tell about magnitude or direction?
Both.
Yes, both. In the case of A vector and C vector, what is happening is their magnitude is the same, but the direction is not the same. So what is the conclusion that you have learned? Whether it is a parallel vector or anti-parallel vector, that is nothing but opposite vectors, both put together are going to be collinear. So this point, this particular expression is needed. A vector is equal to lambda times B vector is needed for us to solve the problems in the other exercises. If anyone is not clear, please let me know. Okay. And proceed. Right. Answer the following as true or false. A vector and minus A vector are collinear. Is it right?
True.
Yes, it is true, because if you want to visualize it diagrammatically, if this is A vector, then this will be minus A vector. The answer for this is true. Second, two collinear vectors are always equal in magnitude. I told you previously. So what is the condition for collinearity? A vector is equal to lambda times B vector. If they have to be equal in terms of magnitude, what should be the value of lambda?
1.
1.
Yes. So lambda need not be 1 always for vectors to be collinear. So the answer is false. Two vectors having same magnitude are collinear.
False.
False, because one vector can be like this and the other vector can be like this. We can also have two co-initial vectors which have equal magnitude, but they need not be collinear. So this is the answer for third one. So the answer is no, that is false. Next, two collinear vectors having the same magnitude are equal. Means try to understand. There are two collinear vectors which have the same magnitude are equal. Is it true? I've drawn it, no?
False.
Why?
Direction can be different.
That is the reason. Okay, I took only one scenario. There is another scenario also possible. What is it? This is one set. If I take only this set, yes, it is true. But I mentioned one important point. Anti-parallel vectors are also collinear, meaning they can have opposite directions as well. Right? So the answer for the last one is false. So with this exercise is over. Right? It's simple, right? Shall we move on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Let me check if I've covered everything. Some basic concepts. So I have to explain what is a position vector. I'll come to that. I've explained what is magnitude, right? A quantity that has magnitude as well as direction is called a vector. I've explained what the symbol is. Modulus of a vector is nothing but the magnitude. So position vector I need to explain. Direction cosines we will see later. Let's not take it in this chapter. We will do it in the next chapter. So in the types of vectors alone, I just want to give a quick revision. So there are different types of vector. The first vector is called as a zero vector. Okay. So as the name is suggesting, always before you have to look at the term that is there before that vector. Zero vector means what? A vector whose initial and the terminal points coincide means what will be the magnitude of it?
0.
It is 0. So to put it in very simple terms, a point is called as a zero vector. Right. The other name for zero vector is null vector. Some books use it. Okay. But of course, with zero vector or null vector, we have nothing to solve. It is just a concept. Okay. Next. What is a unit vector? That is what we need to understand. I'll come to that. So I have to explain what is a position vector and unit vector. What do you mean by co-initial vectors? That also explain. So two or more vectors which have the same initial point are called co-initial. What do you mean by collinear? Two or more vectors are said to be collinear if they are parallel to the same line irrespective of their magnitudes and directions. Here they use the word parallel. So irrespective of directions means they can be like this also. So that is what they're indirectly trying to say. But I gave you an alternate definition also. I hope you made a note of it. The next one is equal vectors. So what do you mean by equal vectors? So two vectors, and the name is suggesting equal vectors means two vectors, A vector and B vector are said to be equal if they have the same magnitude and direction, regardless of the position of their initial points, and written as A vector is equal to B vector. So from collinear vectors, A vector is equal to lambda times B vector, though it is not given here, make a note of it. What should be the value of lambda for them to be equal? Lambda should be 1 for them to be equal. For them to be opposite vectors. Opposite means they are in the opposite directions but of equal magnitude. Then lambda should be how much? Lambda should be
Minus
minus.
Minus
If I write minus 1, A vector is equal to minus B vector. If you take magnitude on both the sides, magnitude of A vector is equal to magnitude of minus B vector. Magnitude is always a positive value. So from this we can conclude they have the same length but opposite direction. So they are called as opposite vectors. Then what is negative of a vector? A vector whose magnitude is the same as the given vector, but direction is opposite to that of the it is called as the negative of the given vector. So can I say B vector is a negative of A vector? Similarly, A vector is a negative of B vector. Can I conclude it like this? I hope all these points have got registered. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now see, what I'm going to do is, now I will explain you two important concepts that is very much needed for math alone. Okay. So what were the two vectors that I kept on hold? One is unit vector and the second is, what is the other vector I told I need to explain?
Position vectors. Sir.
Yes, that's right. So concentrate, okay? So there is a vector called as unit vector. What do we mean by this? Look at the name, you'll understand. Unit
The
doesn't mean
magnitude.
physics units. Yes, unit is derived from unity. Unity means one, right? Unity is one. Too many technical issues today. So any vector whose, what did you say? Magnitude is how much? 1 centimeter, meter, what is it?
Unit.
It can be anything. Whose magnitude is 1 unit is called as a unit vector. Okay, I have a question. We are already dealing with something called as a vector. If I write, see, maybe I'll come across a scenario where I have a situation where the magnitude of this vector is going to be 1. When it is going to be 1, let it be. I'm not worried about it. Okay. If this is going to be the case, let it be there. I already know what a vector is. If there is some special case where magnitude of a vector is 1, okay, it is fine. Why do we need to specifically read about unit vector? What is the main significance of it? Is it all about having the magnitude of 1 unit is the question. And the answer is, can someone answer this? Before I tell you the answer, can someone try it? Why are we reading specifically?
So to specify the directions.
Very good. So unit vectors have the significance of specifying the direction. Okay. So the significance of unit vector is specify direction. So you can ask me, what do we mean by direction? So one thing we are clear with as of now is, if you need to represent any vector, we can use an arrow mark. But the question is, if there are, let's say, 5 vectors involved in it, if I want to represent everything diagrammatically like this, okay, 5 also I'm able to tolerate. Let's say there are 10 vectors that I'm giving you to add. Is it practically possible for you to sit and draw these arrow marks every time? And secondly, what has happened is, the arrow marks that I've drawn is in which plane? It's obviously in a 2-dimensional plane. I can draw these arrow marks only on the paper. But what will I do to represent all these when it comes to 3 dimensions? It becomes a complicated procedure for us, right? So what we need to do is, we need to come up with a theory in such a way that we are able to overcome this issue. Means, without even drawing a ray diagram, how am I going to approach the problem? That is what we need to understand. So for that, the very basic that we need to understand is a unit vector. Okay. So understand, I'll explain what you mean by specifying the direction. As I told you, if I draw an arrow mark, I can say it is in this direction. So if I ask you the direction, or else if someone is coming and asking you what is a direction for you to reach the school or something like this, for them to reach this particular location, you'll use your hands to show the directions, right? So instead of it, if we need to frame a theoretical notation such that it is universally understood by everyone, That is why these maps and all are there, right? You're able to understand Google Maps. The other person is also able to do what exactly is happening behind. How is it able to track all those things? Okay, there is some input that is given to the software, right? Are you guys able to relate it? Because this has a lot
Yes,
of real-time application. I'm trying to relate to that concept. So when you come, you would have heard of these things. When you take the coordinates, they speak in terms of latitude and longitude. They specify a particular direction, right? Not every time there will be an arrow mark that is going behind. There will be numbers which are dealt behind the software. That is how your maps and all work. Okay, so that is how it is able to track. If that should happen, we need to come up with some theory where only numbers and theory part is involved. That is the reason why we are saying it is used to specify a direction. Now, coming back to the very basic point, if I give you a variable a and I call it as a vector, theoretically on the paper, without using a ray diagram, how are you going to say it is a vector to someone else? You will put an arrow mark on the top of it, right? If you put like this, everybody in this world will understand. Those who know the context will understand that you're trying to speak about vector. Am I right? So when you say vector is like this, what did you say is the basic definition of vector? So vector is some quantity which has what?
Magnitude and direction.
Magnitude and direction. So that is the definition. But how will we be able to convert the same thing into a mathematical expression is the question. So if I do that, you're saying magnitude. I told you the symbol used for magnitude is this, right? So magnitude of a vector into, the question is, how do I write this direction? The gap that has got erased here is filled by a vector called as unit vector. Now see how I'm going to write. If I put the same vector a, and instead of writing magnitude of a vector is equal to 1 every time, if I put a symbol like this on top of it, it is universally understood that it represents a unit vector. Okay, so this is read as a, what is it? A
A
Cap.
A cap, or some books refer it as a hat also. Okay, so but cap is the commonly used. Now observe what I'm going to do is a vector is equal to magnitude of a vector into a cap. Does it make sense? Now I'm trying to say, you can ask me, if you multiply with this a cap, is it not going to affect a vector? Answer is no. Because when I take magnitude on both the sides, okay, first I will take magnitude on both the sides, tell me what will come out. So when I tell you taking magnitude on both the sides, you're taking the modulus, have that in your mind. Taking magnitude on both sides, what do I get? Left hand side, magnitude of a vector is equal to, right hand side, what do you have? Magnitude of a vector into a cap. Accepted? So this will be nothing but, this is one number. Magnitude means it's some number that is going to come out. It might be +1, -1, something, whatever it is. So left hand side is going to be magnitude of a vector. Right hand side, this is some number and this is some number. So can I write this as magnitude of a vector into magnitude of a cap? Both are same. For example, what I'm trying to do is magnitude of -2 into -3 is the same as magnitude of -2 into magnitude of -3. I'm splitting and writing. I did the same thing inside. Okay, so what is the magnitude of a vector? It is the same. It is some positive number. The magnitude of that positive, the modulus of that positive number will still be the same. You're able to understand? So the modulus of this vector is this magnitude itself. Similarly, according to definition of magnitude of unit vector, what is magnitude of a cap?
1.
1.
It is 1. So does it make sense now? Right. So if you are multiplying the magnitude of a vector with a cap, does it make sense now? You're able to understand why it has actually come. So any vector, a vector is represented as the magnitude of a vector times a unit vector. So from this only, there is a mathematical expression for unit vector that has come out. That is a cap is equal to a vector divided by magnitude of a vector. How to solve this mathematically, that I will teach you later. But try to understand and visualize what exactly a unit vector means. Am I clear till this point?
Yes,
Is
sir.
every logic of us making sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So please make a note of it. Shall I move on? Now I'm going to talk about position vector. So it's a very simple concept. What do we mean by position vector? So if you see, there is some vector for which what are we trying to represent? We are trying to represent the position. Position of whom? Position of a specific coordinate. On the other day, I told you, right, vectors and coordinate geometry can be related. I think in the previous class only. Yeah. One minute. See, if I give you a coordinate, let's say 4, 3 in a two-dimensional plane. So what is the meaning of this 4, 3? We have so many names behind. 4 is the abscissa, 3 is the ordinate. I'm not asking all those technical details. I'm asking if I give you a coordinate of a point on a two-dimensional plane, what is it you're going to understand? What is the inner meaning, inner information you're or the hidden information that you're getting from it?
The point is 4 units from x-axis and 3 units from y-axis.
Very good. It is actually, see, 4 units from x-axis and 3 units from y-axis. Okay. You used one important word. So it is 4, this, actually you told the reverse, but I understood what you were trying to say. It is actually at a distance of 3 units from the y-axis and 4 and 3. Now tell me. It is at a distance of 4 units from where? It is at a distance of y-axis and 3 units from the x-axis. Okay. So, but did you listen when he told something, when he told about the numbers, he used a reference. What was the reference he used? And you told 4 units from where? So you didn't say it. Yes. So you would never told it is just 4 units and 3 units and leave it. You added one important point. That is what I'm trying to concentrate on. You told 4 units from y-axis, 3 units from x-axis. That y-axis and x-axis are taken as references because this units refers to what? What are we trying to talk about? Units means what is it? Is it centimeter square? It is what?
Centimeter.
It is the distance. It is the distance we are trying to talk about. Okay, units means I can put anything. If I want, I put liters also. That's not what I'm trying to talk about. Right? So actually, you're trying to say it is at a distance of 4 units from where? From the y-axis. So you always need a reference. The same is the case with respect to the position vector. As I told you, if someone has to universally understand whatever you're writing on the paper, we need some term to be coined. You're trying to talk about the position of this point with respect to whom? Is the question. See, it is always, see, there are two ways to represent. I'm not saying this method is wrong, 4 units, x-axis, y-axis and all. But the best thing is, origin for every diagram is going to be fixed. Origin is the best reference we can take, right? So if you are able to speak about the position of a point with respect to whom? With respect to the origin, then that particular vector is what is called as the position vector. If I take this point as P, then the way you write position vector is OP with a bar on top of it. Or sometimes this OP, if you take R, this is also equal to R vector. Are you guys able to understand this?
Yes,
OP with a vector. So every position vector's initial point has to be origin. So if this kind of a scenario occurs, what will be the definition of position vector? Any vector whose, complete the state. I already told you the story. You have to complete the state. Any vector whose initial point is dash.
Origin.
Yes, is a position vector. Okay, write it down. So any vector whose initial position is origin is a position vector. And this is a very, very important concept with respect to your mathematics. Because all the problems that you're going to solve are based on the position vectors. I will try my best to relate it to coordinate geometry and bring the similarity so that you can visualize and do problems better. Let's see, as time progresses, I'll explain. I hope this point is clear, right? The next important point that we are going to concentrate is orthogonal unit vectors. Now see, it is even more simple now to understand. We know what are vectors, we know what are unit vectors. We have already dealt it. So unit means a vector whose magnitude is 1. So we represent it with a cap on top of it. This is also clear. Then what do you mean by orthogonal? Orthogonal mathematically means what? Sorry, did someone speak? No? So what do you mean by orthogonal? Yes, that's right. So now try to connect all the dots. Now try to read it in a basic point. Perpendicular unit vectors are what are called as orthogonal vectors. Okay. So the best system where we can think of perpendicular unit vectors is along x direction and y direction. Okay. So if I take, I'm going back to the same basic point 4, 3. What is the name of this vector, guys? If I take this point as P, this as O. OP vector is equal to, I told you another symbol, R can also be used, R vector. These 2 points are clear from our previous discussion, but my question is, I have a question. How do I write that 4 and 3 in terms of unit vector is a question I have in mind. For that, what we need to understand is, we need to understand this orthogonal unit vectors. Please make a note, guys. Any distance, or if the direction is represented along x, unit vector along x direction is given by I cap. Similarly, unit vector along y direction is given by j cap. Unit vector along z direction is given by k cap. So this is a fact which is known. Okay. So OP vector, I told you in the previous case, right? For you guys to understand better, magnitude of A vector times A cap. See, this A cap is a general vector. For example, if I have to write this position vector, I can write it like this. Magnitude of R vector times, I will write it as R cap. This R cap represents some general unit vector which is in this direction, which is in the direction of OP. But I want to know, how do I represent anything, that any object that is, or any point that is moving along x direction separately, y direction separately, and z direction separately. So universally, in the place of the unit vector, if you see I cap in anyone's paper, you should understand that they're trying to speak about the point which is along x direction. Similarly, if you see j cap, it is along y direction, k cap is along z direction. So how do I write OP vector in terms of 4 and 3?
4 I cap plus 3 j cap.
Yes. So you drop a perpendicular. This is 4. This is 3. So the meaning of this is, it is 4 I cap plus 3 j cap. This is how you represent any vector. Especially the position vectors are represented like using the orthogonal unit vectors and the number. Now we have actually simplified. Instead of drawing this ray diagram always, from next time onwards, if I give you something like this, OP vector is equal to minus 2i cap plus 3j cap. If I ask you to draw the ray diagram, will you be able to draw?
Yes, sir.
So what are you supposed to think? So what did I give you? What vector is given to you? That is a position vector. So look at the coefficient of I cap. Coefficient of I cap is what?
-2.
-2.
The coefficient of j cap is
Yes, 3.
3. So which quadrant does it belong to?
Second.
Second quadrant.
Second quadrant. So when you take an arrow mark, means in this case they are trying to represent this OP vector as -2, 3. So don't write this -2, 3 in the exam, okay? This is for you to understand. In fact, they will not even ask you to draw the position vector. But if you have this clarity, solving problems is easy. So am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So with this, I've completed the important basics. The remaining parts are very easy that I will explain. I stressed on all the points which I wanted to explain. Now, next is addition of vectors. So addition of vectors means, see, I'm not going to explain you the whole story and all. If A vector is given as 2i cap plus 3j cap, B vector is given as 5i cap minus 2j cap. If I ask you to add them, what will you do? See, if I give you 2x plus 3y and 5x minus 2y, I asked you to add them, what do? You add both the x terms and the y terms, right? Similarly, what are we supposed to do here? 7i cap.
7i cap plus j cap.
This is what is called as addition of vectors. As simple as that. Okay. See, if I explain all the story, you will get confused. No need of all those things. So A vector plus B vector is 7i cap plus j cap. Similarly, if I ask you to subtract them, what will you do? Just 2i cap
Minus
plus
3i
3j.
cap plus 5.
Yes. 5i cap minus 2j cap. So minus 3i cap minus 5j cap. This is the subtraction of vectors. Okay. So what they would have explained is subtraction is the reverse process of addition, is what they will say. And A vector plus, can I write it as minus B vector? So when you're subtracting two vectors, they will try to say that you're adding one vector with the negative of other. That is the meaning. That is why if you see all these diagrams, there is a B vector and there is minus B vector. So this direction will represent A vector plus B vector. This side will represent A vector minus B vector. Anyways, when it comes to problems, I'll explain it better. Don't worry. Okay. So there are properties of vector addition. What are the properties of vector addition? If you have two vectors, A vector and B vector, then A plus B is A vector plus B vector is B vector plus A vector, which follows commutative property. Similarly, A vector plus B vector plus C vector is equal to A vector plus B vector plus C vector, which follows associative property. Next, multiplication of a vector by a scalar. The best example for this is the condition I gave you for collinearity. So A is a vector, B is a vector, lambda is what?
Scalar.
It's a scalar. This is what is meant by multiplication of a vector by a scalar. Okay. Similarly, I gave you the definition of unit vector. A cap is equal to magnitude of A vector divided by magnitude of A vector. Right? Next, the components of a vector is what I explained in terms of orthogonal unit vectors. That's what they've introduced here. See, I cap, J cap, and K cap respectively. Okay. But don't worry, you will be able to solve the problems with whatever I have explained. Okay. One last point I need to mention is, if the vector is given in the form of minus 2i cap plus 3j cap, if they ask you what is the magnitude of the vector, see, you have written what is OP vector. OP vector is minus 2i cap plus 3j cap. If the question is what is the magnitude of OP vector, what will you say? Again, we'll go back to the basic of coordinate geometry. If I drop a perpendicular, how much is this distance? 2. How much is this distance?
3.
3. So what do we mean by magnitude of a vector? Magnitude of a vector is nothing but the distance between their endpoints. Correct? So distance between O and P is what is the magnitude. So what is going to be the distance if I use Pythagoras theorem? Root of 2 square plus 3 square. Accepted? So I'm writing, see, observe the way I'm writing, root of 2 square plus 3 square, or can I write it as root of minus 2 the whole square plus 3 the whole square? Why I wrote minus 2 is because in the vector which is given to me, 2 is not given, rather minus 2 is given. So if I take it like this, then minus 2 the whole square plus 3 square, can I write it like this? So what is the magnitude of OP vector? It is minus 2 square plus 3 square. Similarly, if I give you a vector like this, OP vector is equal to 4i cap plus 3j cap, then what will be the magnitude of OP vector? It will be square root of
4 square, 2, 3.
4 square plus 3 square. There is a very simple factor, that is going to be 5. Okay. So from this, if I give you a general vector like this, OP vector is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Okay, xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Then what will be the magnitude of OP vector? Root of x square plus y square plus z square. To put it in simple terms, square root of coefficient of I cap square plus coefficient of j cap square plus coefficient of k cap square. Right. So this is one point. And lastly, the one I'm going to explain you now is not actually given in the textbook, but write it down. Relation between given vector and its position vector. Now see, I have a coordinate system. For understanding purpose, I'm taking them to be in the first quadrant, need not be in the first always. And I'm taking in a two-dimensional plane. Understand this. So let's say there is a vector PQ that is given to us. Let's say there is a vector PQ given to us. So what is the meaning of this? This point is PQ. So whenever you have a vector given like this, the first is always the initial point and the second is always the final point. Okay, this is PQ vector. So if you start thinking in terms of coordinate geometry, P is a point and Q is a point. So both these points will have something called as a position vector associated with them. Accepted? So from here, if I join them, then what can I call this vector as? This is OP vector. Accepted? Similarly, from the origin, if I join it to point Q, what do I call this vector as? OQ vector. Then this vector is PQ. Correct? Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
Clear? See, before I go to that concept, tell me, here if you see 4i cap plus 3j cap is what we have written. No? I will show you another way of visualizing it. 4i cap means, see, if I give you simply as 4i cap, somebody is telling you the vector is 4i cap, what will you understand?
On the x-axis,
They are moving on the x-axis by how much distance?
4 units.
4 units.
From where?
Origin.
From the origin. So if that is the case, then can I observe the red color line at them? Can I call this as 4i cap?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So similarly, if somebody gives you saying that B vector is equal to 3j cap, what is that you understand? Okay. From the origin, along which direction? Along the positive y direction. Positive y direction, you move a distance of how much value?
3 units.
3 units.
you move a distance of 3 units. Is this accepted?
Yes, sir.
Now, see, this is what I'm trying to say is observe. I'm erasing everything. I'm clearing this diagram. So what did I write OP vector as? It is 4i cap plus 3j cap. Now I'm trying to actually break it into parts and understand what exactly is happening behind. Now, this is how the diagram is going to look like, correct? So this is how your diagram is looking like, where according to me, this is what is A vector and this is what is B vector. So I explained you a concept called as equal vectors. What do you mean by equal vectors? Any vector which is
Equal in
same
magnitude and
magnitude
same
and
direction.
equal in magnitude and equal in direction. So can I say equal vectors are parallel vectors to each other with the same magnitude? Can I say that?
Yes, sir.
If I say this, then observe, I'm copying this. Observe. So this is the B vector I have in my hand. Means if I try to bring another B vector here, if I try to bring another vector and keep it exactly parallel to whom? The vector which I have placed recently is parallel to whom?
Y-axis.
Yeah.
Y-axis.
No, parallel to which vector? I know it is
B
y
B
vector.
axis.
vector. B vector.
B vector. So can I say this vector is also B vector? Solalama logically.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is also B vector because if I see, for what I'm trying to say is, if suppose I name it as C vector, then what is the relation between C vector and B vector according to our previous exercise knowledge? B vector is equal to C vector. Because if you write it as lambda times C vector, lambda in this case is 1. So what I'm trying to do is I'm writing it as B vector. Correct? But what is A vector? 4i cap. B vector is 3j cap. Then how did you write OP vector as? OP vector is 4i cap plus 3j cap. That is nothing but A vector plus B vector. What I am trying to say here is, observe like this. You are at point O. Okay. And where is your destination? According to OP vector, this is where you're starting. Your destination is point P. So what exactly are you trying to do? There are two ways to reach that point. What is it? You can directly go from O to P along that line itself, or you can go from O to A, that is you completely go along X direction by how much value? By a distance of 4 units. And from A, you reach the point P by moving along Y direction by a distance of how much value? So can I write something like this? OP vector is equal to, observe. Can I write OP vector is equal to OA vector plus AP vector? Can I write like this? That's what I did.
Yes,
No,
sir.
OA vector is A vector according to me. AP vector is nothing but B vector. So I explained you a concept called as addition of vectors. Do you guys remember? So I explained addition of vectors. So if there is a question asked on addition of vectors, then they might give you the vectors and ask you to add them. Or sometimes there might be a scenario where you yourself have to frame the two vectors which you need to add. Here, OA vector and AP vector is framed by us. They didn't give it in the question. We framed it using the logic of vectors. Okay. If this kind of a law is followed, this law is called as triangle law of addition of vectors because it forms a triangle. OAP forms a triangle. Correct? OAP forms a triangle in such a way that OA vector plus AP vector is equal to OP vector. Are you guys able to understand this point?
Yes,
So
sir.
what I'm trying to say is OA vector plus AP vector is equal to OP vector. To put it in very simple terms, I start at point A. Okay. So O is the starting point. What is my journey? The journey has to be, this is the source, this is the destination. O is the source, P is the destination. So what I'm trying to do is I'm breaking the journey in such a way that I'm going from O to which point? A. Means this is the starting point, this is the ending point. But the ending point of my first journey is becoming what? is becoming the starting point of the second journey. And if that happens, if there is P vector here, this will be the ending point. So if this kind of a scenario occurs where the ending point of the first journey is acting as the starting point of the second journey, then you can directly write the vector by taking this first source and the last ending point. So that's what I wrote, no, right hand side, OP vector. Are you able to understand this? Suppose I give you what is AB vector plus BC vector, what will you write?
AC vector.
That's it. The reason is very simple. Ending point, starting point. Okay, this is what is called as AC vector. Now I'm going to use the same logic here, except the fact that there it was completely along X direction and Y direction. So observe, what are all the three vectors we have in our hand? OP vector, PQ vector, and OQ vector. Accepted. So three vectors, since it forms a triangle. So what is my objective? My objective is to write the given vector. In this case, it is PQ vector. In terms of whom? In terms of its position vectors. What are the two position vectors PQ will have? OP vector and OQ vector. Accepted. Now I'm going to frame a relation between them. Now tell me what will be the relation between them. Even without looking at the diagram, you can say OP vector plus PQ vector is equal to what?
OQ vector.
How did I write? I chose the values in such a way that the ending point of first vector acts as the starting point of second. So is that not happening? Means observe it now clearly. Okay? I'll use a green color. So my objective, let's say I want to go from the meaning of this is you are planning to go from O to Q. O to Q, you can directly go along OQ vector. That is what this is. Or what you could have done? You could have gone from O to P and P to Q. And means addition. That is what this is happening, which implies PQ vector is equal to OQ vector minus OP vector. This is a very, very, very important relation. As I told you previously, most of the problems in math are solved only using position vectors. Try to visualize it and solve. See, though the concept that I'm trying to explain might be simple for most of you, but thing is, next chapter will torture you guys. I'm telling you, you have to understand this basic. Next is one of the toughest topics, three-dimensional geometry. For that, these vectors basics are very important. Please understand. If there is any doubt, get it clarified. Visualize and do it. If you start doing with formula, this chapter, next chapter are gone. You cannot solve them. You have to visualize. Am I clear? Right? So this is a very, very important relation to be kept in mind. So with all the basics that we have discussed for today, see how fast you can do the problems. So how to do the first one? Find the values of x, y, and z so that the vectors A vector and B vector are equal. So if they are equal, what is the mathematical relation between them? A vector is equal to B vector, correct? So xi cap plus 2j cap plus zk cap will be equal to 2i cap plus yj cap plus k cap. Accepted? So what will be the relation? Compare the coefficients on both the sides. X will be 2, 2 will be y, and z will be 1. So what are the values? 2, 2, 1. This is the ordered triplet. X is 2, y is 2, and z is 1. So moving on to the next problem. See, fifth one. A vector is equal to I cap plus 2j cap. B vector is equal to 2i cap plus j cap. Is magnitude of A vector is equal to magnitude of B vector? Yes or no? For you to tell yes or no, you need not
sir.
solve. Look at the coefficients. 1, 2, 2, 1. Yes. Are the vectors equal?
No.
Yes. So just because their magnitudes are equal, it need not be equal. Their directions also have to be equal. So A vector is not equal to B vector. This one. So find the unit vector in the direction of this vector. So what is the formula for A cap? A cap is A vector divided by magnitude of A vector. You know this, right? So what is A vector? 2i cap plus 3j cap plus k cap, the whole divided by, what is the magnitude of A vector?
Root of 2 square plus 3 square.
Yes, root of coefficient of I cap square, that is 4 plus 9 plus 1. So 2i cap plus 3j cap plus k cap divided by root of how much? Root 14. So this is the required unit vector. If you want, you can calculate the magnitude of this unit vector and see what is the magnitude of A cap. 1 by root 14 is outside into magnitude of 2i cap plus 3j cap plus k cap. So 1 by root 14 into how much is this? Root of 4 plus 9 plus 1, that is root 14. So root 14 by root 14, 1. Satisfied? So this is the unit vector. Moving on to the next question. If anything is unclear, you ask me, okay? I'll explain it. Find a vector in the direction of I cap minus 2j cap that has a magnitude of 7 units. So find a vector in the direction of A vector, meaning the unit vector for A cap and the vector which you need to find are the same. But what about their magnitudes? They are different. So what they are saying is B vector is equal to 7 times A cap. Did you understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
So this is the vector they're asking. 7 is the magnitude of B vector times A cap is what? A cap is the direction of A vector. So B vector is equal to 7 into, what is this A cap, guys? I cap minus 2j cap divided by,
Divided by root 5.
very good. So 7 divided by root 5 into I cap minus 2j cap. That's the answer. Just a minute. Got it? So they wrote it as 7i cap by root 5 minus 14j cap by root 5. Shall I move on to the next one? So most of the problems, see, they're asking based on unit vector only. So read the question carefully. Find the unit vector in whose direction? In the direction of the sum of the vectors. Okay, here you need not worry about those triangle and all. Just add them. So given vectors are 2i cap plus 2j cap minus 5k cap and 2i cap plus j cap plus 3k cap. So what will be the sum of both the vectors? 4i cap plus 3j cap minus 2.
Minus 2k.
So if I call this as C vector, they're asking a unit vector for whom? For C. So C cap is equal to C vector divided by magnitude of C vector. 4i cap plus 3j cap minus 2k cap divided by square root of 16 plus 9 plus 4. So 4i cap plus 3j cap minus 2k cap divided by root of how much?
Root 29.
That's the answer. So no units and all, just write the vector and leave it. Okay. So I'm moving on to the next question. See, direction ratios and direction cosines hold. Need not worry about it. I will explain it later. Find the unit vector joining the points P, Q directed from P to Q. So did you understand the question? There are 2 points P and Q in a 3-dimensional space, right? Directed from P to Q means what is the name of the vector?
PQ.
PQ.
So what are they asking? Find the vector joining the points. So PQ vector is equal to, this is given, right? Point P is given as 230 and -1 -2 4. Now see, what did I tell you PQ vector is? PQ vector is OQ vector minus OP vector, means it is final position vector minus initial position vector, right? Q is the final point, the end point. P is the starting point. That is why I told final position vector minus initial position vector. So PQ vector means it is be OQ vector minus OP vector. It is applicable to all. So what is OQ vector, guys? Minus I cap.
-2 j cap, -4 k cap.
Yes. Minus. What is OP vector? 2 I
I
cap.
cap plus 3 j cap plus q.
Yes. The 0, no? 0. So it is minus 3 I cap, minus 5 j cap, minus 4 k cap. So there is the required vector. Clear? Consider 2 points P and Q with the position vector 3a. OP vector is 3a vector minus 2b vector, and OQ vector is a vector plus b vector. Find the position vector of a point R which divides the line joining P and Q in the ratio 2:1 internally and 2:1 externally. So if this is point P, what is the position vector of point P? 3a vector minus 2b vector. Position vector of Q, a vector plus b vector.
Plus b vector.
So there is a point R for which you need to find the coordinates such that they are in the ratio 2:1. R is dividing PQ in the ratio 2:1. Accepted? So it is the exact section formula that you people apply. What do you do? M into x2. You remember that, right? M N P Q. M into x2 plus n into x1 divided by m plus n if it is internally. M into x2 minus n into x1 divided by m plus 1. Sorry, m minus n if it is dividing externally. I hope you all know this, right? M minus n. In a similar way, what we are going to do is 2 into OP vector. So observe, I'm going to write, find the point R, means OR vector is equal to 2 into OQ vector plus 1 into OP vector divided by 2 plus 1. So 2 into what is OQ vector?
Vector plus b.
The whole divided by 3. So 2a vector plus 3a vector is 5a vector plus 2b vector minus 2b vector is 0 vector, and there is no vector 0 by 3. This is OR vector. Understood? OR vector is 5a vector divided by 3. Just check the answer once. Hmm. 5a vector by 3. Right. Similar, this is for the case internally. What is the case for externally? 2 into OQ vector minus 1 into OP vector, the whole divided by 2 minus 1. So 2 into OQ vector is A vector plus B vector minus 1 into OP vector is 3A vector minus 2B vector, the whole divided by 1. So what will be the answer? 5A vector plus 4B.
Minus A,
Minus
A vector plus 4B.
Did I make a mistake?
Two A.
Did I make minus A? Sorry, minus A vector.
Plus 4B vector.
Okay. So minus A vector is 4B vector. Okay. Now I'll give you some problems which you can try it as homework. Don't do every problem. Compute the magnitude. So NCERT page 440, exercise 10.2. Can do the first problem, second, third. I think you can do till 8th problem. Let me check. 4 you can do, 5 you can do, 6 yes, 5, 6, 7 yes you can do, 8 you can do, 9 you can, 10, 11, 15, 16. You can do all these problems. These are also from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 and 16. These problems you can do. Next class, we will do the remaining problems. Then I'll explain you the product of two vectors. There are two kinds of products. With that, this chapter is over. Okay. So till now, I hope it was easy only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Just wait for a minute.